Hey, welcome to the Danger Zone. It's Ashley. Everything in this video is found on a public domain. Lots of love and many blessings your way. Thank you to my journalist friend. I appreciate you very much. Now here's what he shared with me. This is really creepy to me. When Harry and Meghan first arrived to South Africa and were out in the crowds being danced for and greeting people, here's what happened. People that were there are now talking about this voodoo priestess that was in the crowd. This woman's in her latter 70s. She's been there her whole life. And they say everybody knows her. She's just that common. I was told that she has a very generous spirit. She's very kind and helpful. She's always trying to help somebody. She helps with the healing. She does things for broken marriages and relationships. She even helps with failing crops. And they say, as kind as she is as nasty as she can be. She's a woman that doesn't talk that much. She's very quiet. They say that she seems to be the kind that just likes to sit back and observe versus throw her 2 cents into things. So it wasn't at all uncommon for her to be there and not saying anything to anybody. And as she stood there not saying anything to anybody but just watching, she had a ritual plate that she was burning a cube of incense on. She was fanning the smoke towards Harry and Meghan. And they said it was clove that she was burning. They said she was doing this to protect, more than likely, the area from Harry and Meghan. And it's not something that's new to her. She's done this before. I looked up clove and the meaning behind it. I found several different reasons why a voodoo priestess or somebody in magic would burn a clove incense in particular. And one of the reasons were to keep their area safe and to keep the evil on the evildoers. Now, I can't say she was putting some sort of a hex on them because she has been seen doing this to other people. A couple of the older guys said that they've known her most of their life, and the only reason she'll step out and do something like this is when she gets an uneasy feeling. A feeling to protect them and keep evil from them. And here is what I find totally strange. When I was looking up the meaning behind the clove incense, I stumbled across an article talking about how Samantha, Meghan's sister, had actually gone to a voodoo priestess trying to get revenge on Meghan and Harry for treating her and her dad so bad. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it totally seems like something she would do. You guys, Harry made quite a creepy statement himself. Maybe I overanalyze things, but I read between the lines and I know what it said. I'd like to know your opinion. He went on and wrote this. This particular legal action hinges on one incident in a long and disturbing pattern of behavior by British tabloid media. The contents of the private letter were published unlawfully in an intentionally destructive manner to manipulate you, the reader, and further the divisive agenda of the media group in question. In addition to their unlawful publication of this private document, they purposely misled you by strategically omitting select paragraphs, specific sentences, and even singular words to mask the lies they have perpetrated for over a year. And there comes a point when the only thing to do is to stand up to this behavior because it destroys people and it destroys lives. Put simply, it is bullying, which scares and silences people. And we all know this isn't acceptable on any level. We won't and can't believe in a world where there is no accountability for this. Though the action may not be a safe one, it is the right one. Because my deepest fear is history repeating itself. I've seen what happens when someone I love is commoditized to the point that they are no longer treated or seen as if they're real people. I lost my mother, and now I watch my wife falling victim to the same powerful forces. And to their fans, we want to thank you, the public, for your continued support. It's hugely appreciated. Although it may not seem like it, we really need it. I find that to be a bit of a weird statement to make. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it, but I know I'm not the only one. For somebody to sit down and talk about bullying, the audacity coming out of his mouth, This is just my opinion, but let me tell you why I really think they're putting out this legal crap over the Daily Mail's releasing this letter. The timing is very questionable. Her own PR team, Sunshine Sachs, recently said that she should have been listening to the advice of a formidable team all along, and their bad reputation is their fault. And I believe that this entire Africa tour, whatever you want to call it, has definitely backfired. It's not been in their favor at all. It seems to have been a merch tour, another way of them making money in every direction. Also trying to cozy up and win over South Africa because they need them. They won't listen to anybody at all. They'll take no advice from anybody, not even the PR team they hired. So what he's doing right now is clutching at straws. They both are. They see that they can't be fixed even with Weinstein's PR team. Therefore, they're going to make a little bit of noise, try to fix it themselves. And remember, they filed this lawsuit, so the burden of proof is on them. Are they really wanting to go down that road? I don't think they do. As far as Princess Diana being killed by the paparazzi, well, let me tell you something. We all know that Oprah basically owns Dr. Phil, right? And Dr. Phil had a show on not too long ago. He had a panel of investigators, people that have devoted themselves for the last 20 years to Princess Diana's death. Now, according to the experts, Dr. Phil had on his show, they've actually proven that the paparazzi had not even made it in the tunnel by the time the accident occurred. They said her driver was also extremely intoxicated. And here's what I'm just going to throw out there. She always wore her seatbelt. There was never not a time that she didn't wear her seatbelt, they say. And I feel like maybe she was slipped something to be so loose that evening and less precautious. But that's just my opinion. And there was this American family that had been in the traffic jam through the tunnel and literally made eye contact, the lady did, with Princess Diana, didn't even realize who it was. She said the woman was like almost begging for help through her sight. All the while, the authorities were all standing around in a jovial mood, laughing, talking, having a good old time. And she wrote this down in an affidavit, which, by the way, had come up missing for so many years. Now, the young man that caused the wreck, he got scared and he took off. And if I remember correctly, the young man had actually had contact with the authorities, one way or the other, after the fact. And he said that they told him, don't ever talk about it again, just let it be. Now, that kind of seems like a big old setup. But they have proven that paparazzi were not in the tunnel during the accident. So the statement he made regarding powerful forces doing to Meghan as they did to his mother kind of creeps me out. Like he knows something. A few videos ago, we talked about connecting the dots, and I feel like Harry knows a little more than he lets on, and I think for that reason he does hold a grudge against the royal family, because his mother's death really took a toll on him mentally. And I'm sorry he lost his mother. She was a wonderful lady in a lot of ways. But at the same time, it's time to grow up. I have had people in my own family pass away and leave children as young as 2. And these children have grown up to be productive members of society without many hang-ups. And certainly without a big old castle to back them up. I'm so tired of their hypocrisy. What about their lies? What about their embellishments they've added on to and taken away from? Whatever benefits them. They're as guilty as the next person. The magical moon bump that would change in size from 1 hour to the next, one event to the next in the same day. Playing big games with Archie, if that's his name even. Oh, I'm sorry, Bubba. Have you ever heard such a damn? And I'm from the South, if you can't tell. Her putting out there via her PR people that Suits has asked her to come back and join the cast for the big finale. And then the creator comes out and says, hey, I never invited her back for the finale. That's never been my idea. I have way too much respect for the position she's in. I didn't want to have to cause her problems. that was a figment of her imagination. Just like this staging in this pub, having an everyday common Sunday lunch as a family. Clearly they live in their own little bubble where they're the smartest people in the world, and they never thought for a second that it's not that hard to find the date that the picture was actually taken, in which the picture proved to have been taken nearly 3 weeks after they claimed they were there. Who are they? Oh my God, it blows my mind. The Duke and Duchess of don't do as we do as we say. I've also been told that the Daily Mail has a dossier on Meghan. Surprise, girl. They, I'm telling you, are not this haphazard. They're not this sloppy. Who is this sloppy naturally? They're absolute puppets. He gives a lecture on steering clear from the plastic-wrapped pears in the produce section. Say that 10 times fast. Yet I bet you old little Archie's not wearing a tea towel between his legs. An example of a puppet is Save the Planet herself. Preaching against plastics. Do this, do that. The world's coming to an end. It's going to explode. And yet she's surrounded by plastics. They're told what to do. They're told what to say. I promise. How dare you, Greta? My point at the end of all of this, they're a train wreck. They're puppets. They're being controlled. They're full of crap. Don't take them serious. Don't buy into them. They're frauds. I'll see you soon and we'll talk fast. Stay safe and be blessed.